I punched sand in a bucket 10,000 times in an effort to try to make my fists stronger and bigger. What problems did I run into? What kind of toll did this take on my body? And ultimately, did my fists get strong as steel? Let's find out, but you gotta focus. Before I got started punching sand, I wanted to take some initial fist strength measurements. In order to do this, I bought some 13mm breaking boards off of Amazon. Alright, time to hit some sand. So I was only able to get through two 13mm boards together before the pain was too great. So after the initial test, it was time for me to get punching some sand. But first I had to build my sand punching system, which was going to be a bucket filled with sand. But where do you even get sand if you're not at the beach? Well, I found it in the hardware store in the outdoor section. Essentially, play sand for sandboxes and whatnot. After filling this bucket up with about 1.5 bags of this play sand, I got to punching. I initially just started my punches straight down into the sand as if I was trying to pack some dough or something like that. Anyways, wanting to keep things even, I decided I would do my left side as well, but not count it towards the 10,000 reps. So at the end of this experiment, get this, I will be doing 10,000 punches with each hand, so 20,000 total. On day one, expecting to do more, I actually only ended up doing 100 punches on each hand because my fist started to get pretty tender. First couple didn't really hurt that bad. I'm like, this is easy, but then by 20, oh dude, ow. Bugs, man. So then the next day I took a rest day to hopefully help my fists heal up for the next training session, and then I got to more punches. This time I wanted to double what I did before, so my goal was to hit 200 punches. This took a little bit of time and started to feel pretty uncomfortable around rep 80, I'd say. But more importantly, and perhaps fascinating, this was actually my first experience with what I would like to call impact sadness. 200 each. And I'll get to more of what this feeling was later in the video. Anyways, wanting to make it an even 500 by the end of the first week, after another rest day, I got to 200 more punches on each hand. And at the end of this third day, my fists were feeling it. So tender, and you could visibly see bruising taking place. Anyways, after a weekend of rest, starting week 2, I was a little bit frustrated only being at 500 reps, so I wanted to step it up, and I was determined to get to at least 1,000 reps by the end of week 2. So I started out with 250 reps each session, but I actually ended up having 3 sessions on week 2, so I got to a total of 1,250 punches with each hand. Something interesting I should mention, during week 2, I started to use this remedy to hopefully help with the bruising recovery. It's called Dit Da Jiao. It's like an herbal tincture that's supposed to help with inflammation, pain, healing, etc. According to what I read, you're just supposed to apply it topically before and after impact training sessions, so that's what I did from here on out. It did feel like it might have helped a little bit with the pain, so I figured, why not? Shoot. My left hand. Because I keep hitting the bucket. Bro. Anyways, after another weekend of rest and recovery, I was determined to get back to it to hopefully get to the next 1,000 rep marker. So over the weekend, I was using a box cutter and I slipped on accident and sliced these 2 fingers right here. Could have been far worse, so I'm thankful, but dang, my left hand is just getting beat up. So I'm throwing 2 band-aids on this so I don't get sand in it. Anyway, let's get to 250 reps. That's what I'm going for. So yeah, first of all, the athletic tape around my left hand knuckles was because I kept getting tired during these sessions, missing the sand, and hitting the edge of the bucket, breaking the skin on my knuckles, and I really didn't want to get sand in those cuts, so I was taping them off, and then yeah, the additional band-aids to tape off the cuts from this box cutter accident. Regardless, my goal this week was already being at 1,250 reps, getting 250 reps per session for 3 sessions to bring me to 2,000 total reps. And by the end of week 3, I was there at 2,000 punches in the sand with each hand. But dang, my knuckles were looking pretty banged up. So I took a weekend plus a day of rest and got back to it. Now my approach for week 4 was to get to 3,000 reps by the end of the week, but I was only planning 3 training sessions, so I did 333 reps per session and then 334 reps on the last session to bring me to 3,000 reps.
What is that thing? Seriously, what is that?
To be honest, weeks 5 and 6 were kind of a blur. I really wanted to get on with this challenge, so I decided to do 500 reps per session 3 times a week for these 2 weeks, bringing my total punches to 6,000 each hand by the end of week 6. Now, past the halfway point of 5,000 each hand, I was really not feeling much pain anymore with any punch into the sand. My fists were beginning to feel very conditioned. However, it was at the end of week 6 where I really started to experience that feeling that I mentioned briefly earlier, that what I like to call impact sadness. The best way I could describe it was essentially it was this feeling of melancholy, sadness, or like a depression that I had at the beginning and throughout each training session. It was almost like because my fists were beginning to get conditioned and I was not feeling as much pain as I did initially, well, maybe my body still internally recognized some sort of impact or pain and trying to get me to stop put me in this state of sadness. But having a goal of getting to 10,000 reps, I just continued to punch through. Now I decided to back my reps down to keep it at a pace of 1,000 a week because the 1,500 reps the last 2 weeks just felt like it was overwhelming. Another thing I switched up in the final weeks was changing up the angle of impact with my fist. I figured it would be beneficial not just to condition my fist from the front knuckle punch, but also on the sides. So I do some side punches every couple hundred reps or so. So punch after punch with each hand, going and going. Session after session, getting to 7,000 reps, 8,000 reps, physically and emotionally exhausted, but continuing to power through to 9,000 reps. Only 1,000 reps to go. Then again, I was feeling something just not feeling right.
I'm honestly so exhausted from this experiment. I'm so exhausted of this training. I only have 1,000 reps left. It's like, what? I should just knock it out right now. No way. No, absolutely not. Honestly, dude, I am not feeling like any pain at all when I'm hitting this. So with that logic, I should be able to punch through some boards, right? The only thing is like, this does not seem like it's good for me.
So something very bad from doing this for so many reps for so long, and probably would get worse if I was going to continue this for the even longer term, was my hands were beginning to feel very stiff. And almost as if I was losing like dexterity in my fingers. I felt like if I kept going too much longer, this could end up really bad, and I didn't want to cause myself permanent damage. But I only had 1,000 punches left, so I took 4 days off. And then on week 10, I knocked out my final 1,000 reps. I was right there, powering through the exhaustion, the impact sadness, and the fear. Knocking out the final 1,000, 500, 400, 300, 200, 100. The final 5 punches.
9996, 9997. 10,000, oh my gosh. I'll even it out. Oh.
So I didn't really know how to feel after completing this challenge, but I did know what to do. That is, compare my fist to before and after and test my fist strength. So I gave myself 3 total days of rest, and then it was time to look at the results.
I'm even scared.
So initially the side-by-side comparison doesn't look much different aside from some long-term bruising. But what I noticed if you look at the front view is it actually appears that my knuckles got more dense. Like there's more density in the tissue between each knuckle. Crazy. But now what you've all been waiting for, how many boards would I be able to punch through after spending 10 weeks punching sand 10,000 times?
Nothing to this but to do this. Boom. It's gonna go right through. It's gonna go right through. Easy. Didn't even feel that. Ow. No, I'm just kidding. Didn't hurt. All right, two. We're sending it. Easy. Didn't even feel it. 3 fresh boards. And then I think that's it. Should I just go for 4? Because I'm gonna be out of boards if I do this. Let's just go for 4. Duh! That's probably gonna bruise. Oh, did it though. It felt like a hard hit, but to be honest, it didn't really hurt that bad at all. I think my middle knuckle might be swelling a little bit though. Just a little bit. But you gotta focus. Punching sand 10,000 times took me 10 weeks, but I think I got what I was going for. So I failed with too much pain on 3 10 weeks ago, but right now, today, through 4 boards, I feel like I could even do more if I had more, but you know what? Probably a good thing I don't have more because who knows how hard I'd push. Barely felt that little sting on the middle knuckle there, but it's already feeling, it's back to normal. Other than that, just continually punching sand. Am I gonna keep doing that? I don't know, man. Like my hands, like I wanna maintain the dexterity of my hands, and I do not wanna just like beat my hands down to where they're just like useless clubs for everything else, only good for clubbing. Anyways, guys, I got another idea in the works for 10,000 reps. Guess what that is?
Bro, I was just trying to get the slow-mo clip.
Oh no. Oh no.
Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Stay tuned. More videos coming out. Hope you all have a great day. Peace. I will see you all in the next video. But you gotta focus.